Hey YouTubers, Cyberdyne24 here. Should give you another installment of doing a little tune-up on the good old Echo SRM or SRS 2100 hedge trimmer. As you can see right here, I finally actually got the grommet in, got all the hoses in. So right now I'm just reinstalling the little plastic plate. Goes here. Got the gasket on there. That's all back on, which is fantastic. We have new get. What I hate about doing this stuff, sometimes it just becomes a real pain in the ass. And here's the carb. And sometimes in situations like this, you kind of just need to do a little bit of concentration to be able to get all this crap back together. And as you can see, it's actually coming back together very nicely. Looks like I'm gonna have to take this off again because I got to retighten this plastic piece before I can even put the car back on because it is loose. But we'll just set it up like this and we'll just start tightening this thing back. And we'll just make sure this is all nice and tight before we commit to putting this thing back on. Okay, that's completely back on. And we have the right area how to put this thing back on. Looks like we got enough gas line for a little bit too much, so all we do is there we go. We got the, actually no, wait, wrong. This is the primer. Well, actually that is the gas line, so yeah. Make sure you match up your lines correctly, because you don't want to connect the fuel line that goes to the fuel filter to where the primer bulb's at. Now, if you got a little bit of excess, no big deal. Just trim it off, but leave a little extra just in case if you ever have to take apart the carb again, because lots of times these hoses will get overstretched. And you'll eventually have to put them on. Blah. Wrong, poor word choice. You'll have to eventually you'll eventually have to take the carb off and you want to have a little extra line in the hose, a little extra length in the hose, because eventually the rubber will start to stretch out a little bit and you really won't get a very nice tight connection onto that little brass tip that connects to the carburetor. So a little extra slack is good. Just nip that little bit of that tip off, slip that new piece of cut hose on there, works perfectly fine. And as you can see, we pretty much have this thing almost completely done. Well, I'll finish up one part of it. And that's this part right here. Reinstalling the carburetor. And then reinstalling the throttle linkage back on this. Test out the throttle linkage, make sure it's okay. Once you see that's looking okay, then you're pretty much set. You're good to go. Everything's great. Now we're pretty much just waiting on the actual exhaust itself. And like I said, we'll let this thing sit overnight. Because believe me, probably use a nice good cleaning out anyway. Maybe if I get done with it, I'll probably hit it on the grinder and grind some of the rust and crap off of it that I couldn't get off before. And as you can see right here, we've pretty much completed a good portion of it. The last little bits I'm going to need to do to this is reinstall the muffler. Actually, clean up the heat shield, put the heat shield back on, reinstall the muffler, put the cover back on, put some gas in it, and give it a try and see what happens. Hopefully this solves the problem. If it doesn't, then I'll have to go back to the drawing board and figure something else out. But I really do think that the main problem of this was that it just needed new fuel filter, spark plug, carburetor rebuild, and also good exhaust clean out. It's a little more than your preventative maintenance, but do something like this, especially something like this, it'll definitely revitalize it and re-energize this piece of equipment. So, thanks for watching, YouTubers. I did make a video on how to put the grommet in, stuff like that, but the video was like 30 minutes long, and I didn't want to have to sit there and post that on top of this video. So that's pretty much it. So y'all take care, YouTubers. Thanks for all the views and the comments. Just keep them coming. If you got any other questions or anything like that, by all means, just ask away. I'll answer in the best of my abilities. If not, I always got a bunch of other small engine mechanic buddies that can answer the question. So y'all take care.